Hey, hello, Britta Bartlett here with My Vision Agency, and today I am so excited to share with you a new tool that actually allows you to embed a project management system into your HighLevel account. Okay, now not only can you embed this into your HighLevel account, but you can also provide this to your sub accounts so that they can use the project management system as well. So this is really, really cool. I have actually worked all weekend to get mine set up exactly how I want it and all of my automations. And I want to take you to the back end of that because, as you guys know, I love to start my automations with a YouTube. With a adding my videos to a YouTube playlist is the trigger, and I actually was able to get all of this set up with that. So I'm going to walk you through not only how you can get all of this set up, but also how what that looks like on the back end. I wanted to do this whole training to share with you the beginning to end process. Okay. So you can see here, for example, we have two different projects. Okay. So if I click into one project here for my daily tasks, you'll see that all of the videos have automatically been uploaded. So this is what I was telling you where I create the YouTube event, I add the video to a playlist, and then I set up the automations because not only do I want to create the task for each individual thing, but I also want to make the information dynamic. Okay. So I don't want to dive too deep into all of that. I just want to make sure that you understand how all of this project management system works. Okay. So, first of all, we have our three columns here. You can create whatever you want to. Just for an example, I did to do, in progress, review, and complete. Of course, you can move these cards to a different stage here. And when you do that, what happens is you can actually, if you go into the settings area and you go into automations, you can actually tell the system what you want to happen when those automations take place. For example, task column changed. If I wanted to set an automation every time I move that into the next column, of course, I can do that here. Okay, so really, really cool. Now, if we go back into, I'm going to walk you through, okay, the card view. Okay, so you see we have the different card view. If you want to look at each individual project here, you can see it looks very similar to Trello. So you have the title, you have the date and all of that. You have all of these actions here where you can mark it as important, add tags. You can set up as a repeated task, add estimate. You can change the project, add a subtask. You can log a start time so you actually can track your time here. So that's really helpful. You can archive the task. You can create a link for the task, and you can even save this task as a template. So you can see I've actually mapped out all of the data here. So you can use like title text and all of that directly from the automations. And then, of course, you have the contact information. You can add comments and all of that there. Okay, so basic setup for any project management system, but I do think that this is very simplified, where ClickFunnel, or not ClickFunnels, like ClickUp is actually super complicated. And even though we use it in my agency, we don't really utilize all the functionality. It's also super inconvenient because ClickUp is in a different software, and I really want to keep everything in-house. Okay, so this is basically what that looks like here. All right. Now, of course, you do have your list view that you can check out if you prefer instead of the card view. You have the table view here. You also have the calendar view here. So again, just depends on how you want to structure things. You have your different requests here, and I'll talk about that in just a second. You also have your dashboard here, any files that have been shared, notifications, and then in your settings. All right. Now, you can change the naming of any of the features here. For example, title, ticket number, which FYI, this does have like a help desk ticketing system. If you're interested in that, but you can change all the names. You can say, what your final task is when it's complete. You can also sync the tasks, and you can enable client notifications if you wish. You have the requests here. That is from the support system. Okay. You also have the different automations, like I explained. You can tell it what you want to happen. This is really cool as well. You have a task form. So, what this allows you to do is actually create a form that you want to fill out, and it will create the task manually, right? So that's really cool because you may want to add like some easy way to create tasks. Okay, I actually created a button. We'll talk about that later in the week. But you do have the ability to do that there. And then, of course, you can customize all of your different emails that are going out. Okay, so if I wanted to choose, for example, every time I have a new task, I want to send an email and I can say new task added, and then I can use any of these custom values here. So if I want to put new task added and maybe a space, and then we'll put like the task title, it will pre-fill in whatever that task title is. Okay, so same thing basically in the email context here. So um, we could say you have a new task, and then put a space, and then you can put any of that data from the task here. Okay. If you want to see some of the ones that I've created, you can see here like new task. I put a little emoji there just to make it really, easy to see. So you have a new task has been assigned to you, and then we have the task title, task description, the due date. Do you want to make this like a running template, or do you want to make this global so that all of the same location, this will be the email. Okay, so you can kind of see another one, task completed. So we have the little, task completed with the title. The following task is now complete. We're going to add the title there and the due date. Okay, so you pretty much get that there. All right, now let's talk about how you actually set up this cool stuff and what does it actually look like? Okay, because I I was seriously, when I was seeing all this, I was like, whoa, what does that setup look like? That's amazing. Okay, so to create this, what I'm using is GHL Plugin. So you can see at the top of my screen here, you can create a free trial at myvisionagency.com/GHL plugins. All right. When you click that link, it's going to take you here to GHL plugins. You'll see that they have, if you imagine it's like a marketplace of solutions for high level. Project Manager is the one that I'm using right now. I've actually implemented a lot of these tools. I'll be talking about that later in this week. But you can see they also have like an onboarding tool, a custom launch pad, custom value forms. So super cool, lots of different things. But like I said, we're just talking today about the project manager. Now, when you sign up, you're going to come to the dashboard. It looks like this. You want to definitely get your agency set up. And what you want to do is go to task system. Okay. And when you go to task system, you're going to see a screen like this. I'm sure I can't show you my live account because of different information, but it's going to look like this. You're going to get, of course, you want to enable the service. You're going to get this custom menu link. This is what you're going to be adding to your agency. Now, make sure that you have your account set up. But what you want to do is you'll see this custom menu tab. You want to decide who do we consider as admin in the system? Agency admins and account admins. You can choose the drop down menu there. What are the admins' email addresses? So I just added mine there. The default view. Non-admins only see their task synchronization, display only assigned projects. So you can choose all of these options that you want. Now, when you click submit, there's going to be 2 steps that you need to complete to make this work. Okay. Now, the first thing is you need to copy the script. Okay. So what you're going to do is, and I can't show you that again, but underneath where it says copy script, you'll see a big bunch of, numbers and letters. And what you want to do is click here to copy that. You're going to go into your HighLevel agency account, the agency admin account, not a sub account. And you're going to go into the settings. You're going to go to company, and you're going to go where it says custom JavaScript. You're going to go to the end of wherever, if you have multiple scripts in there, you just want to go to the end, do a space, and then paste that code in. All right. Now, the next thing is you want to get that custom menu link. Okay. So, what we're going to do is underneath where you were just at in company, I'm going to close that down so I don't keep grabbing that. And then you're going to go to custom menu links. Okay. Now, when you go to custom menu links, these are the links we create on the side menu. Okay. These are custom links that we can add to our agency when you have the white label plan. All right. So what we want to do is we want to call this like task manager or something, but let's go ahead and choose our icon here. Let's just type in task. Okay, so let's say we're going to choose this one, and then we're going to call this whatever we want to call it. Let's say task manager. And then, of course, we want to paste that link that we got from here. We want to paste that link here in the URL. Now, you want to have this open in the iframe just to keep it inside your dashboard. And then you want to choose who do you want to have access to this link here, this tab. Typically, I don't put, unless it's like agency specific, I don't really share that on the agency admin just because it's unnecessary. But I definitely do want to share it in the sub accounts. And I can choose here, and again, I don't want to show you because I'll show all of my client data. But when you select sub account sidebar, you're going to, from this drop down menu, either choose all, or what you really want to do is go through the sub accounts and choose the individual sub accounts that you want to be created. Okay. Or you want to have access to this tab. Then you want to choose the role-based visibility. So are we going to choose all the users or the admins? Like who's going to have access to this link? Okay. I suggest all, but again, it's great to have, options because you may have a reason where you don't want the users to access the task manager. You can also toggle on the microphone and camera. There's really nothing relevant in here in this tab that would use that, but I typically toggle it on because sometimes there are updates and they add cool things, and I want that functionality to be there. Okay. Now we don't have a link here because I've already added that. Okay. So if we go now into the account, you can see this is what it looks like. So we have the task manager here. This is inside of my sub account. And then, of course, you have access, all the users who you've given access to in that custom menu. All of those users will then have access to this tool where they can build out their own project, okay, their own system. Now, let's talk about what happens aside from that. Okay. What are the other functionalities? How do you create a task inside of the task manager? So, what you want to do, if you go into the workflows, you will see if we click here, let's just click on this little square down here. I'm going to X out of this. So we have our workflow here, and anywhere that you would typically create a task, you would search task. Okay. Now, this is the one that is native to HighLevel. So you could technically search task and then use the HighLevel task system. But if you're using this system, what you want to do is choose the one that says create task. Okay. It's going to be the orange one here. Now, what you want to do is you want to add the project ID. So we're going to go back now to close out some of this. You're going to go back here to the project, and let's go back to the main workflow here. Oh, I love when everything acts weird when I go live. Okay, so we're going to just refresh. So what you want to do is you want to grab that project ID. I'm going to let that refresh. I'm going to close this out and then I'll carry on. All right. So what now once we grab the project ID, I cannot speak today. We want to give this a title. Okay. So what is the actual task that is going to take place? Okay. So we'll just say this is a test. And then what is the priority of the task? Maybe low. And then here we want to add whatever the task data is. So this is a test task. And then we want to choose the assignees. So the assignees it does need to be like a user of your account. So I'm just going to choose myself here. You can have multiple. You want to choose a start date. If you want the date to be as soon as the task is assigned, you can actually go into the custom values. You can choose right now, scroll down to the date, and then it will pre-fill that in. So once the task is created, how long do you have until it's due? You can put 0 days or however many days. You can also choose like a static or dynamic. So if you want this to be, it's information that you're pulling in and you want that to be dynamic, you certainly can do that. Just going to add that to 0. And then you can also add any tags to this task that you want to. Now, remember, tags are super cool because we can actually trigger automations. It also helps us to segment our lists. So you can type in the tags there. You can also choose any of this content to create a tag. Okay. Of course, you're going to save that. And let's go back to here we have our projects. So to grab, let's say that I wanted this task to be added to this project here where I have my daily tasks. What I want to do is just go over here and I'm going to copy the ID just by clicking that. Okay. Now, when I go back to my account, here's where, or my workflow, here's where I want to paste that project ID. All right. So that is what is going to tell the system when we create this task, we're going to put it in that project. Okay. Now let's talk about a little bit of some advanced use cases here. Okay. Now I told you before that I love to add a YouTube video to, when I go live 5 days a week and I add my video to YouTube, what I want to do is add it to a specific playlist. And then I want to automate that process and that the whole setup process, all of the tasks, right? So when we add a YouTube video to a playlist, typically I have my VA gets notified in Clickup, and he will use that info to create a blog post, to create posts in our communities, to create, there's also some other tasks. There's lots of different things, right? And typically what I've done is I've had it start with YouTube where you add the trigger is adding the video to the playlist. And then I would continue with the automations and ClickUp. But I wanted to figure out how I can utilize this project management system and still work this workflow. Okay. So what I did was I actually created a workflow here where I'm in Zapier right now. So I have the first step is adding a new video to the specific playlist. And then I have a Zapier webhook trigger here, and I've chosen the get. Now, if you're unfamiliar with webhooks, get means that what we're doing is we're getting the information and we are mapping it out to send it somewhere else. Okay. Now, to do that inside of HighLevel, you can see here what you need to do is choose an incoming webhook trigger. Okay. So we're going to choose the incoming webhook, and then we are going to paste it up there. Okay. So above this, that's where you're going to paste that webhook. And then you're going to tell the system what is each thing, like we're mapping it out, right? So you can just type in title. Okay. So whatever I put in here is going to be the title of the video. All right. And you can choose that information like this just by simply choosing title. Right? So if I completely delete this and I just type in title, and I want the title of my YouTube video to be mapped out there. So when it's pushing that data to HighLevel, what I want it to do is give me this information when I select title. Okay. So then same thing for description and the YouTube video URL and the date. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and continue. And then it's going to push that data. Every time I've added a new YouTube video, it's going to push that data here. Now, here's a little, and I'm sorry that I can't show you everything because I am live. Okay. But what you want to do is now you're going to use the data from this webhook here. And the first step is it needs to associate this with a contact. Okay. So if you try to delete this step, it's not going to work. You need to associate it with a contact. So I just added the admin email address, which is this one here. Okay. Now then you have all of the next steps. So I'm going to show you this step here. Actually, let's scroll down. And let's say that I wanted to add a new task and I wanted to use that information from the YouTube video. I just click create new task. And then, of course, you can see here, I can start mapping out that data. So, what I want to do is go to custom values. I want to make sure to go to inbound webhook trigger because that's the info that I want to capture. I want to capture what I've pulled in from that webhook. What I want to do is choose the query parameters, and then you'll see all of those same titles that I gave when mapping out the video. Okay, so I have the date, the video title, the YouTube description, YouTube URL. So if I wanted to say, you have a new video, and let's say I want the video title, I'm just going to go up here to the custom value. I'm going to choose the parameters there, and we're going to choose video title. Now, let's say that I want the video URL. Again, I'm going to just type in URL. And then we're going to choose YouTube URL. And if I want to make this clickable, I can just highlight the custom value. Let me get rid of that space. Highlight the custom value. And then we are going to add a link like this. All right. So now when it creates that card for this task, it's going to create it in whatever project I told it to create the task in. And then, of course, it's going to build out a card just like this one. And then you'll see all of the YouTube data from the video and all of that. So when my VA goes to create a entry-level community post, he has all of the information from that video, the link where to post, the title, the description, and the video URL. Same thing here with reseller community post. Same thing here with share the event to from the Facebook to the group. Same thing here, download the YouTube video with all the description and all of that. So makes it really super, super easy to stay organized. And of course, as things are done, we can see if there's a question, I can check my review. I can also see when things are complete there as well. Okay, so make sure that everyone is on the same page. You really cannot uh, beat this system. This is so much better than ClickUp or any of the other project management systems because, like I said, they just are not made for HighLevel. And so you just have to try to work to get them to talk to each other. And it's kind of clunky and cumbersome. But when you have everything inside of your dashboard and you can trigger all of your automations seamlessly inside of the workflows, it just makes everything so, so much better. So like I said, you guys can go to myvisionagency.com/GHL plugins to create a free trial. Now, I want to thank you all so much for joining me today, and I want to share with you how you can join me with open office hours. If you have questions immediately following this training today, if you are a reseller or you're in our free community, all you need to do is go to the events calendar. You're going to go to today's date, and of course, you want to click there, and you will be able to click and join us right into the Zoom meeting. Okay. If you are not a member of our free community, you can actually go to community.myvisionagency.com to join, and you also will be able to join us in open office hours Monday through Thursday. Of course, our Friday group coaching session that is for resellers only, but all members, free or not, can join open office hours Monday through Thursday. So if you have questions, feel free to join me there. Thank you all so, so much for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Go make your vision a reality. Bye.